Hi, in this lesson we'll learn a simple jazz phrase. We'll use that phrase to create a playground, a sandbox, in which we can unfold an entire thrilling, bluesy jazz solo. So, what I want to show you in this lesson is that we can learn to improvise thrilling music by using very simple means. Music does not have to be complicated. Simple music is often the best music. Now, let me demonstrate the sound we can make when we master this lesson. I will start a backing track I made for the occasion. And here we go. This backing track is placed by the end of the lesson. Then you can play along with the backing track and rehearse the exercises we're going to learn very soon. My name is Oliver Prehn, by the way, and this is a new jazz lesson. So how did I play this solo? Well, actually I use only a single and simple phrase as basis material. So let's start by learning this phrase. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to get familiar with the phrase, so let's exercise this phrase carefully. Now listen, we have a call and response built into our phrase. So maybe we hear these words. They say that music is complicated. It's not true. They say that music is complicated. It's not true. When you are ready, and only when you are ready, speed up the tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They say that music is complicated. It's not true. Let's try to do this along with our backing track. Our backing track is in C, by the way. And our phrase actually forms the C major blues scale plus the minor 7th step. Or maybe we hear the C Mixolydian scale with a blue note added and without the 4th step. outro. Okay, the next step is to break down and decompose our phrase into smaller building blocks. The phrase is constructed very simple actually. Look, in the start we place our hand here. We have the thumb on the A note, and then we go up a whole and a half step, and then we go up a whole step, and then a half step. When we place our hand and fingers in a specific way like this, we call it a hand grip. Now, the really smart thing is that we reuse this specific hand grip throughout the entire phrase. Let me show you. Now we change position and move the thumb to the E note. And look, we place our fingers in the exact same way. So, this is the very same hand grip as we had before. Now the thumb is just placed on the E note. And then we move the thumb to the A note once more, just an octave higher. And we make our little response motif by using only the first two notes of our hand grip. So, we use one hand grip to play the entire phrase. We place that grip either with the thumb on the A note or the E note. Let's name these two positions for our hand grip: position A and position E. So we play position A to position E to position A. Now, let's break down our phrase even further. You see, we need to decompose the phrase before we can recompose and create music. Okay, in the start of our phrase at position A, we play this little stepwise motif. So let's name the motif the step motif, because it goes stepwise. Then we proceed to the next little motif on position E. It sounds like this. It's a little motif that jumps around between the notes. So, let's name this motif the jump motif. The final motif is on position A. It's a little arch motif going down, turning around, and up again. Let's name this motif the arch motif. Now, let's shortly summarize. We have decomposed our phrase into a single grip, two positions, and three motifs. On position A, we play the step motif. Then we move to position E and play the jump motif. And finally, we move to position A once more, just an octave higher, and we play the arch motif. Now, what happens if we play our motifs in different octaves? We could, for example, transpose the arch motif down with an octave like this. And our phrase sounds like this. A little different, right? Now, let's try this out with our backing track. Let's try to transpose the step motif up with an octave. A new variation of our phrase, right? Let's just fool around, transposing the different motifs to different octaves. Can you hear? Now we can already vary our phrase and our sound by transposing the motifs in octaves. Now exercise this thoroughly. Music is complicated, it's not true. Please notice that we always let the hand grip control our piano fingering. So our fingers are always placed like this, no matter the position or motif. So we have defined a simple piano fingering system to follow. We have no doubts about where to place our fingers. This makes our solo technique more simple, easy, direct and immediate. By using our hand grip, we can to a greater extent disconnect our consciousness and just let the music float. Okay, but we are not done yet. Not at all. Now we'll prepare the next exercise. The thing is that we can actually play all three motifs on every position. So let's write the three motifs to each position. And we got a nice tree diagram above. Now, what's next? Maybe you have figured it out? Yes, we will use the tree diagram to rearrange our positions and motifs to be able to vary our phrase even more. Well, our original phrase has this movement. Position A, step motif. To position E, jump motif. To position A, arch motif. But what if we rearrange this? We could, for example, play E step to A jump to E arch. Let's start the backing track and try this out. as we did in the previous exercise. For example, we can play the jump motif an octave deeper. What about moving the arch motif down by an octave? Now let's just play around in the different octaves. Exercise all this carefully. This is actually fun work. Now, what about playing E step to A jump to A arch? And in different octaves. Also do something more radical. Let's make another exercise and play the three motifs on the same position. So on, for example, position A, we can play the step motif to jump to arch. Let's try this out. Octaves. And let's do the same thing on position E. And different octaves. Let's make an exercise where we do the opposite. We'll try to exercise just one motif, but at both positions. Let's try to play only the arch motif. So we play position A to E to A to E, and so on. Do this in different octaves. Now also try to vary the motif slightly. We can, for example, reverse the arch like this. some arches we play normal, some we reverse. Let's also make rhythmic variations. Let's make further variations. And you hear how much we can actually gain from this simple arch motif. We can do the exact same thing with the two other motifs as well. Let's try to do this with the jump motif. Position A, E, A, different octaves. Try to vary the motif slightly. For example, we can lift the first note. Now try to vary the motif even more. We can, for example, play only parts of the motif. This is all about having fun and doing experiments. Now, let's do this with the step motif as well. Different octaves. Make variations. A fun thing is, for example, to play the motif right after each other, like this. Let's add some random breaks into this mess. When you have practiced the exercises in this lesson thoroughly and you feel confident with the exercises, you will be ready to just play around with the positions and the motifs in a totally free manner, like this. Often when I'm going to improvise a solo. I create a simple system containing some well-defined tools, exactly as we did in this lesson. In this way, I sort of frame my sound. I put my solo in a well-defined box that characterizes a certain style. In that way, I avoid just playing around random among the notes, making a lot of reckless and hasty mess. A little of this and then a little of that. So, the box defines my solo and my sound and makes the foundation. I can of course play out of the box, but the box still functions as a kind of home base. The box has another great advantage. It also functions as a simple, fun, and well-defined playground, a sandbox to play around in. The sandbox makes my world smaller, in a good sense. It makes me clear my head and focus on the music. I think it is much easier to play by some simple rules rather than trying to contain the whole world in my hands. By making my world smaller, I release energy to do more important stuff, such as adding feelings and emotions into the music. And please note, we can of course make all kinds of sandboxes. We probably have millions of possibilities when designing a jazz solo. This lesson just shows you an example of how we could do this. In the next lesson, we'll use our sandbox and expand the concepts a little to play a thrilling, jazzy 12-bar blues. And I think we should also put on some left-hand chords, so that will for sure be exciting. With a little luck, the lesson should be done in about 3 or 4 weeks. Now, as you may know, all lessons from New Jazz are free and public. There are no paywalls. Music is for everybody, money or no money. My belief is that if we share our ideas in the open, music will to a greater extent reach out, grow and evolve. You are, of course, most welcome to make a small donation to support my work. But please don't feel obligated. That's very important. And thank you so much to all of you who make donations and support my work, ideas and goals. You make all this real to me. Thanks a million times, girls and guys. See you very soon. The best and warm regards from Oliver Prehn. And here comes the backing track.